Hello, today I will demo how to start your Camel application with the Camel Debugger, the Camel Textual Debugger automatically attached to it. And all of that inside VS Code. The first thing is that you need to ensure that you have the debug adapter for Apache Camel by Red Hat version 0.1 plus. I'm using the Camel main example with some slight modification that I will go through and emphasize some very important part. So first, in the pom.xml, you need to ensure that you have a 3.16 version of Camel at least, and that you have a way to provide the Camel debug dependency when to the class path of your Camel application. So here we are using a profile that we can activate both specifying the profile or using a property. Then inside VS Code, you can create tasks. So for that, you will create a file inside .vscode folder named tasks.json. And here you create a task. So it's a bit complicated. I will go through it. So first, here you need to provide a label. This is mandatory and it will be reused later. Here we are using a shell task and it is launching the maven command. So you need to have the mven binary available on your system command line. We are saying to start the Camel application and with the profile that I mentioned just before to be sure to have Camel debug in the class path. Then here we are providing a dummy problem matcher to avoid to have dialogue warnings every time we are launching. In the future, I hope that we will be able to configure it. So I will just hide it. I keep the presentation to always to have the feedback to see what is happening in my application, Camel application, and it needs to be run as a background task. So that because when launching with Maven, it doesn't return, the Maven command doesn't return until the Camel application is finished, but we want to connect before it is finished. So this part is really to start via the Camel application. And what you want is to connect the Camel debugger. So for that, you will create a launch.json file, also in .vs Code, and provide a configuration. Here you have classical Camel debugger part with providing a name, a type, and a request of attach. And here to bind them together with the task, you can use a pre-launch task where you are using the label of the task. So here, run Camel application with debug profile. If I go back to the task, you can see here it is the label. And so with that, I can go to my run and debug. I can see that it is available here, and I can click on start debugging. You see in the terminal that it is starting my application, my Camel application. We can check that JMX is enabled and that it is running. And then here we see that there is with that that it is connected, that the Camel debugger is connected. So if I go to my Camel root and that I put a breakpoint here, the breakpoint is it, and I can enjoy my breakpoints and see the body and everything else. Here it is. I hope you enjoy this demo.